talk about Zoom when we're meeting, but just a couple of things. Zoom is always changing their privacy and security requirements. It's not really anything you need to know about, but there may come a time, not in our general meeting, as long as we continue to be hacker free, but for some of our special events, there may be a passcode required in addition to the meeting code. So my advice is just that if there's an event of ours that you're planning on attending, just make sure that you keep the email that comes so that, whenever the start of the meeting comes around, you're not panicking because it's asking you for a passcode and you don't know where it is. Let me just let somebody else in. The other thing, and this is just a little general Zoom tutorial for you. Some of you are showing up as iPhone or something else that I can identify, which is fine, except that because we don't require a passcode, I get a little worried about admitting people if I don't know who they are. So if you don't know how to rename yourself, if you look at your little thumbnail, the little picture of you, if you're one of the people that's showing up as iPhone, or if you have something that isn't your name, if you hover your cursor over your little thumbnail, you'll see 3 little dots up in the corner. And if you click on those, you'll get a list of options, one of which is rename. And so it's very easy for you to actually put your name in there so that I know who you are. And I completely understand if there are times when you want to remain anonymous, but you can actually change your name in every meeting that you join. So I'm just saying that it would be helpful for me during our guild meetings if you would actually identify yourself, just so I do know that you are a member of the guild and it's okay to let you in. I don't anticipate there's too many people out there in the world who want to hack into a modern quilt guild meeting, but you never know. We'd like to avoid that if we could. Okay, the next thing was, I hope that many of you got a chance to attend the presentation by Sarah Trail from the Social Justice Sewing Academy. What an impressive young woman she is. I don't think I have ever been that articulate in my life. I'm definitely not that articulate now. I certainly wasn't that articulate at 25 or 26. She is really spreading her light through the world. I think that's the best way to characterize what she's doing. She has had a profound impact on the lives of a lot of young people and a lot of young adults, and she's going to continue to do so. And there are many ways for us to help both individually and as a guild. Unfortunately, like everything else in the world right now, a lot of what she does has been shut down by COVID. She can't have any of her in-person workshops. So one of the things I hope that we'll be able to do in future is help assemble quilts from the blocks that she collects from those workshops. There is also an opportunity to finish. I love this idea. The kids work on these blocks. They don't necessarily have sewing skills. And as she says, if she's in a room with 25 young people, they don't all have sewing machines. She doesn't have the time to show everybody how to, start from scratch, threading the machine and sewing. So they do what they can. And then their block has an artist statement about how they'd like to have it finished. And so that would come to you either individually or in a group, and you're able to finish the block according to the child's wishes for what it was they wanted to express, which I think is and they're so excited to see them come back. So we'll, be doing things more with them as time goes on and she's able to get back up and running again. But in the meantime, I do urge you to go to her website because there are some things you can do as an individual now. I hope you saw in the newsletter that the Lake Mary Museum is asking us if we'd like to participate again in their exhibit, their fiber exhibit. All the information was in the newsletter. The exhibit runs from January 9th to February 13th. They're already accepting submissions and they'll be doing that from now until October 25th. You do need to submit 4 pictures of your work and like a thumbnail size picture of your work. And if you will email me or email the guild, I can send you the email where you send your work. We had about 10 people who exhibited work last year. And I mean, this is not a juried show. This is just a chance to, show people what we do. It's always met a very enthusiastic response. So email either me or the guild if you'd like some more information about that. So the retreat, you may have seen in the newsletter that we are having a retreat. It is not going to be our in-person retreat. It's going to be a completely virtual retreat, and it's going to be obviously very scaled down from our in-person retreat, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We have some fun things planned. It's going to be the same weekend that we had originally planned, which was the weekend of November 6th through the 8th. I have a little poll for you that I'm going to launch right now, asking which days you would prefer, Friday and Saturday of that weekend. Saturday, it's just going to be 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, or no preference between the two. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to go ahead and answer that. And if you are viewing this meeting later on YouTube, obviously you won't be able to participate in the poll, but if you could email me or the Guild, if you have a preference, I would love to see that as well. So just a few more people, I'll give you a chance to respond. 87% of you have voted. Good numbers. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end that now. Thank you. And again, if you couldn't figure out how to do the poll, or if you have further thoughts, just email me and let me know. So let me end that poll. So it looks like we're evenly split between either Friday and Saturday or no preference. So that's good to know. Thank you. Okay, also as far as the retreat is concerned, Dawn has very graciously volunteered to help with the logistical side of it. We could still really use some other people to help. It's not going to be a huge burdensome thing. Primarily what we need are people to help us assemble some goodie bags and distribute some goodie bags. And it would be kind of a porch drop-off kind of thing, sort of in a group thing. But so it's like minimal involvement, but it would be really, really helpful to make this happen if a few people would put their hand up and say, yep, I can give you an hour or two. So please just email me if you can do that. Oh, our virtual show and tell that we had, I think it was last Wednesday, it was really fun. It went really well. There's some technical things that I think we can do slightly differently next time that might just smooth it out a little bit. But, I think that there were quite a few people that are here today who attended, and it was just so nice to hear everybody get to talk about their work. It's been great to see the pictures, but it was really fun. So I hope that you'll join us when we have another one. And you can just come and be a voyeur. Seriously, you don't have to have work to show. You can just come to see everybody else's work and to say hi to people. It's fun. It's a nice way to make a connection. We'll have another one. We don't have a date yet, but I'm thinking probably sometime in the last week of September we'll have another one. So just watch your email for that. Okay. I don't have any sewing room videos for you today, so I would, people have really been enjoying those, so please keep sending those in. I know I'll have at least one next month when we get Marge's technical issues worked out. And if any of you would like to show yours and you need a little tech guidance, again, email me, call me, text me, whatever, and I can kind of help walk you through the process a little bit. Okay, Deborah, if you have finished eating your lunch, are you ready to jump on?
I'm here.
Fantastic.
But I don't have the agenda, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Your first one was we're going to talk about hosts for virtual sew days.
Thank you. So yes, sew day was so much fun. I didn't get a chance to attend this past month, but last month. And just like show and tell, it's such a great opportunity to just chat. So if you're interested in hosting a show and tell, and I'm going to ask between now and the end of the year. So pick a date between now and December 31st, and please email me or text me or put something in the chat box, either of those, and then we'll and just remember that if you want to host, you don't have to have your own Zoom account. We can use the newly branded Orlando Modern Quilt Guild account.
Okay, and then the next one you were going to talk about was your next block of programming and presenters.
Yeah, so today is the last presentation for our Japanese themed programs, and it's been so great sticking with a theme this year. I think this is our 4th month in a row doing Japanese, and then our next 3 or 4 months, depending on how many extra participants I get, is each program will center around either curves, circles, half curves, either improv or straight. So I'm looking for some presenters to do a couple of tutorials. If you have something that is either quick, like 2 minutes, that you'd like to show us, or if you have a complete set of tutorial that you'd like to show, please email me and I'll get in touch with you. If you could email me this week, I am putting together the 3 or 4 month schedule. And next month, we'll actually start on those circles and curves as our program feature.
Fantastic. That's going to be really fun. There's a lot of different things that we can see for that. Cam Watson, you have your hand up. Do you have a question? No? Okay, I'll lower your hand for you. There you go. All these wonderful things that you can click on by accident. I don't know if I saw Kathy Aber join us for the treasurer's report. Sue, did you know? You're muted, Sue. Sue, unmute yourself. I can't hear you.
Kathy's having trouble signing in. She texted me.
Okay.
So
all right.
so
We'll
put her
just
back a little bit.
Okay. Oh, wait, here she is. Let me see if I can. We might have to double. If she can get on, we'll double back and do the treasurer's report in a second. Let's move on to education. Marge, do you want to talk about Amy Friend a little bit?
Hi, everyone. So yeah, so it's good news. Unfortunately, Amy was supposed to be here in August, but you know how that went. So she physically can't be here, but we have gotten her scheduled for October 17th at 11 a.m. until whatever, I don't know how long it's going to be, but October 17th is a Saturday, 11 a.m. and she will do a lecture trunk show. I've had the privilege to do a couple of them this month for one for Jen Kingwell and one for Carol Freelander, and they're really fun. So, you know, put it on your calendar so that we can that you can join her, because they're fun. They're really they're quick, and they give you a lot of information. So yes, so please, October 17th at 11 a.m.
And everybody, just remember, we can't record those. That's proprietary information for those teachers. That's the same reason why we did not record the Social Justice Sewing Academy. So unfortunately, it's just going to be like it is when we have an in-person teacher. You will actually have to attend the class to get the class content. But I hope lots of, again, the Guild is paying for Amy. There is no charge for Amy. So we hope lots and lots of you will be able to join us. Sue, did you want to talk about community outreach?
Yes, thanks. Okay, so in the newsletter, I told you that we had 650 placemats to date. That's just over 2 years we've done 650. Last month I got over 40, so keep those coming. If you need me to pick them up, just let me know. I go twice a month to Seniors First, so it's no extra trip for me to come by and pick them up. And the baby quilts seem to be going really well. Lots of people are talking about them. So far, Charlene and I have a total of 16 baby quilts that have been handed in. And according to the virtual show and tell, there were at least 6 or 8 more that need to be handed in. A lot of people have been real busy with those. Like I told before the meeting started, I think someone asked me about the due dates and things like that. What we're planning to do is to collect them in, get as many as we can through the end of October and deliver them in November. And then we'll go ahead and collect more and try to finish it up in March. Hopefully we'll be meeting by then. So yes, yeah, we'll cross all of our toes and fingers, and you know, that will be the final. So we're going to have 2 drop-offs is what we're planning to do. So if you have a baby quilt, either contact me or Charlene will meet you. I like meeting people at the fabric store, so it gives me a chance to get out, but it's also, you know, gives me a chance to shop. Also talking about labels, if you're able to, if you have any league labels, please make sure your baby quilts have got labels on them. If you need a label, check with the board, any of the board members that you might live near, because we basically all have them. or Michelle Lancaster has the big delivery of them. So she could put them in the mail to you too. So, try to get a label on it so that Charlene and I aren't having to take your binding apart and put the label on later. So I think that's it. Okay, thanks everybody. It sounds like lots of people are having lots of fun. They're fun fabrics to work with and someone like that. It's really great. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sue. If you have, obviously, if you have any questions about any of this as we go along, just put them in the chat, and between Deborah and I, we'll try to keep track of that and see if we can get to it by the end of the meeting. Somebody says, Wendy says she has some baby quilts for you that she needs to get to you, Sue. So you guys can work that out. Let me just let somebody else in here. Kathy Aber, are you on? I think I see you. If you want to unmute yourself. Kathy, are you with us? Let me see if I've got her here. Here she is. Yep, I see you, Kathy. Let's see if we can unmute you. Sue, is she responding to you? I'd like to get her in here to see if she can give us the treasurer's report.
No, I didn't get any more texts from her.
Okay,
I see the wrong number to begin with, and
yeah, Kathy, if you look down in the corner, you'll see the little mute. It looks like a little microphone. If you click on it so it doesn't have a slash through it, you can unmute yourself. Okay, sounds like maybe she's having some technical problems. Okay, so we're gonna move on to, we're gonna go back to Deborah. And Deborah, you were gonna give us a little update on both It's a Wrap and the Scrappy Swap.
Hello again. Yes, so just an update on both of them. This, golly, I'm so unprepared today because I really just swooned in from work.
It's totally fine.
We're going to wrap up both of those this month. So if you have finished your Scrappy Christmas swap, please send me a picture of that, and then we'll do a presentation at the next guild meeting. If you haven't heard from your swap partner, also please email me, but I think that you all have by now. Excuse me. And then as far as the, excuse me, the,
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap, thank you. We are moving on to the next number, and Debbie sent out an email to everyone just the other day. So you should be, and I think the number is 4 that we're on. So please continue working on those and either send Debbie or myself some photos and post them on. And Debbie's waving the number, a different number. I said the wrong one, and it looks like number 3. Thank you so much, Debbie, we're working on number 3.
I think we just finished number 4. Is that right, Debbie?
Yeah, we just finished number 4, so we're working on number 3 is your next one. So remember to send Debbie and or I some photos, and we'd love to see what you're working on and what you've finished for your UFOs.
And Debbie and Deborah, I just wanted to confirm that it's okay to finish number 4 a week from now and send it in, just because you didn't get it finished by today, right?
It sure is. It definitely is. I mean, the point of the whole thing is to really get them finished, and we don't want to, Debbie doesn't want to rush you and make it a stressful event. There's already enough of that going on. So just seeing, it's more of an encouragement to finish it and to send it to us.
Perfect. I may have been asking because I have it was a selfish reason for asking, because mine is almost done, but I was hoping to get it done by today, but I didn't, but it's almost done. Sue, you saw the note from Pam about the labels. I'm assuming that's Pam Edwards. Might just, yes, give me a thumbs up. Was that Pam Edwards?
I'll get him to Pam because we're exchanging swaps.
Perfect. Okay, good. Okay, Kathy can't unmute because she has ambient noise at her house, but I just, we're doing fine budget-wise. Obviously, we've tried to spend down a little bit of our reserve to do social justice, social sewing academy, to do Amy Friend, with Renee's class. And we don't have any income coming in, but right now we don't really have a lot to spend it on. So yeah, we have money, we're solvent. it's good we're able to do some things for the Guild and kind of keep everybody smiling during this time. So we're just going to move ahead with that. And we are now going to move on to the programming section. Deborah, did you want to introduce Ashley again?
Sure, I'll introduce Ashley. We've introduced her last week, and I have a huge thank you to Ashley for doing a second program in a row for us. She just has a nice wealth of knowledge and a clear presentation. And this week she's going to continue on our subject of all things Japanese. Ashley.
Thank you. I feel like I'm using this opportunity to actually like investigate some of my interests more, whether I actually have that base knowledge or not. It's an excuse to research and enjoy looking at things that I like. So I hope you guys enjoy and find inspiration in what I share. Oh wait, hold on, I have to share my screen. Can everyone see that?
Sorry, Ashley, that was me. Hang on. Yeah, you're good. We can see that.
Okay, good. Okay, so this month I wanted to talk about indigo and the designs of Japan. I love geometric designs and patterns, and even knowing what some of their their symbology, what they mean to people and the reason for them. Indigo is one of only 2 natural dyes that work without mordant, which is, I didn't realize this, but you need kind of the solvent that would actually make the dye stick to the fabric. So indigo has its inherent properties. It creates its own chemical reaction, and it allows the dye to just magically, dye to the textile fibers. So indigo, it can never fade. Or it can fade, but the color will never completely leave the fabric. So you can get these beautiful gradients as the fabrics age. The dyeing process, it's historically in large vats. The leaves are taken off the plants. They're able to take them off twice a season, and because they regrow quick enough. And they're dried until they reach a dark blue color, and then the fabrics are just dyed over and over and over again until they get the deep blue color that's desired. A lot of the indigo is in all forms of art in Japan, on pottery, seeing the blue and white, the sashiko, stitching of prominently is on the deep blue indigo fabric with the white stitching. Even the woodwork prints, blue is prominent. You can see this one here, the very famous woodblock artist, known for his 100 famous views, and it's that captures that deep intensity of that magical blue seen in the sky, in the water. Shibori is a dyeing technique very similar to tie-dye. It involves folding, twisting, bunching, and pleating of the fabric. And it's all bound together precisely to create often geometric patterns. Can be in combination with like a dye resist, where there's an initial pattern made and then it's tie-dyed after that, before it's dipped into the indigo. There are a number of traditional patterns and designs in Japan. A lot of it's influenced from other parts of the world, either coming from India or other areas of Asia, and then modified from there. The Japanese people are always respect and awed by the beauty and power of nature, similar to what I spoke last month. And there's a lot of pattern and design is based on parts of nature and making it into these repeatable patterns. A few of them here, you can see the top 2 are considered a tortoiseshell. Chrysanthemum is very popular flower and has it's an important symbol for Japan. It's representative of autumn, and it's as important as the cherry blossom. And a personal favorite of mine, I think, are the arrow feathers down on the bottom left corner. They're popular for their straightforwardness and grace. Their symbolism of aiming for a target, and arrows have long been used as an auspicious pattern because once shot, an arrow doesn't return. So in the like 1600s to 1800s, brides were given kimonos with this pattern on it for good luck and to ensure they would not need to return to their original family home, which is kind of funny and also sweet, you know, good luck message. You can see again the ocean waves, and the other pattern is the hemp leaves. The hemp pattern representation was important because before cotton, hemp was a prominent clothing option, and it represents growth and good health. So it's common for baby clothing as that representation that the hope for the child to grow fast and strong and healthy. A lot of these patterns, I hope you can think to your own collections and stash and notice them, the representation. You can see a lot of variations a lot of times in these simple, like either geometric or slightly more organic patterns. This one in the middle, I'm gonna ruin a lot of these names, but call it the scale. It was used as a talisman to ward off bad luck. So military could have it on parts of their garb. And it's associated with a snake or a butterfly because of that transformation of shedding the skin or becoming a butterfly from a chrysalis. I really like the fawn pattern as well. I think that can be created like shibori, where each of those little dots, you twist the fabric together, and that's how the dye doesn't actually reach those spots. And it's called this because it actually looks like this speckled hide of a fawn. And because of, like, to create this pattern, it's so labor intensive, it's actually considered a luxury item. So if you were to find an older garment that was dyed in this way, it would be, you know, more valuable. Like I said before, a lot of these patterns are kind of bases for other patterns. They could continue, you can do permutations of it and have either different color combinations, or they can build on top of each other. So I think that's most evident in the Shippo 7 treasures. And this one is significant because it is thought to bring good harmony and good relationships. I think this is probably a common pattern in a lot of countries. I mean, it's similar to the double wedding ring and other patterns you're likely to see. I thought it was neat to see the geometry and the multiplicity of all the rings. The next few slides, I'll share some quilters that are, most of them really are specialized in indigo quilts. So Shizuku Kuroha, this is her quilt, Sea of Japan in winter. I thought the blue was just beautiful, rich, and very simple geometric patterns. She uses a lot of vintage fabrics. Old fabrics in Japan are treasured and highly sought after, and she is great at repurposing them and making these beautiful quilts. These two I thought just especially just striking, you know, simple, but have the deep, rich blues and contrasting with the, you know, subdued browns, you know, vintage fabrics. The quilt on the left Etsuko Misaka. It's called Calm, and this quilt won the Grand Prix prize at the 2015 Tokyo International Great Quilt Festival. I love seeing the gradient of the blue, the richness, and if you're able to see like up close photos, just like the quality of the work. The one on the right too, I don't know much about this, but I just thought it was beautiful, the simple, you know, patterns, the kind of arrow design, and the deep blue. So a lot of those were all these deep blues and kind of moody looking quilts and colors. So I wanted to share Kiko Goke, I don't know, her quilt, To Tomorrow, and some of her, she has a couple fabric lines, and I think they reminded me a little bit of Kay Facet and like the intensity, the colors, and the patterns. And she just has beautiful work, I think. And she first started quilting in the 70s and is self-taught, which is unusual for kind of any profession in Japan. There's often like a master and you learn from them, so they have several students. So I thought it was fascinating that she's self-taught, and she actually has a couple fabric lines with Free Spirit, and she does her designs by hand using oil pastels and color pencils and paints. So you get this really, you can almost see her hand in it, you know, this texture. So I thought her work is beautiful. And to close out, I like sharing some other inspiration. So a couple books. The first quilter I shared, that's her book on the one of her books on the left. So if you like traditional patterns, I think it's pretty to see a little spin on them and using vintage fabrics. And there's a couple other like sewing patterns in there for little pouches and stuff. So if you're looking for a new book, it's good inspiration. And then some of the other images and information I got was in this Cotton and Indigo from Japan. While not really a quilt book, I thought it's a very beautiful book and has a lot of information about like the history, and it's a, you know, pretty coffee table book. So that's it. Any questions?
Just trying to see if we had anything in the chat. Let's see if anything came in. Doesn't look like it. I was wondering about do they hand sew?
A mix. So actually, I think Kiko, I'm having like technical difficulties. Am I still sharing my screen?
Yes, but it's all pictures of your adorable baby. Which we don't mind seeing either, so.
I closed my slideshow and now I can't get back to the stop sharing. So yeah, there's hand sewing is prominent, I think, but I think one of the unique things that I liked about Kiko, the brightly colored, was that she has always done machine sewing. So that kind of is another thing that set her apart from everyone. So.
Because I was looking at the first one that you showed where it looked like it was, you know, it was a real deep indigo, and then the other sort of little triangle shapes looked like they were a lighter blue, but if you looked at them closely, they were all, it looks like they were embroidered over the top that made them look lighter. That was the very first one that you showed.
This one?
I see the books. You're on the book screen right now. It was the first Shizuko, one more. Yes, this one. It's right there. It's because they're embroidered in that.
Kind of. I mean, I think it's actually just
it's a different
it's
fabric.
a type of stitching. Yeah. So there's like a couple different striped fabrics, and then heavier like quilting stitches.
Okay. Gosh, it's beautiful. That dark blue just almost looks iridescent. There's something about it that makes it, that sets it off. So Renee and Marge and Deborah and I have been sitting in on the Global Quilt Initiative has been having these little mini features of quilt teachers to share their expertise, what they're doing virtually. And there were several of them that teach shibori. And I think that would really be a great class for the Guild.
That would.
Or although it would have to be something, we'd have to do it live. There's no way that it would be something you could participate in virtually. Even though they're teaching it virtually, I think it would be much more, you get a lot more out of it live. So, but I think we'll put that on our list for, when hopefully we're all together again.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Ashley? I don't think there's anything in the chat. Anybody got any questions? You can unmute yourself if you'd like to ask. Okay, Ashley, thank you so much.
Thanks.
That's so fascinating. Love seeing that. And you can, if you want to just stop sharing your screen.
I can't find my controls. Can you just like take over? Oh, here, I found it. It was like hidden.
Yeah, I can do it for
Okay.
you. You got it?
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. Okay, thank you so much, Ashley. I
welcome.
appreciate it. Okay, so I think the next thing we have, or the last thing we have, is show and tell. I just want to check the chat here real quickly to see if there's anybody that has questions. Michelle said she'd mail labels to Catherine, so we got that taken care of. A few people said they'd put their hand up for the retreat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and launch our show and tell for this month. I totally forgot about it, so let me see. Let me make sure I can find it real quickly here. Just give me a second. There we go. Can you see, or do you see the YouTube screen right here? Yes, Debbie Manuel, you're unmuted. So what do you see? Do you see the show and tell screen? Yes? Okay, good. I'll get it started then. Well, as usual, you've all been very busy. There were some beautiful things in there. Love those llamas on that baby quilt. And I loved seeing Renee's collage for the class that we're working on, which has just been so much fun, so much fun. If you weren't able to take advantage of this time, I'm sure Renee's going to be teaching it again for other groups. You might want to jump in because it's really a fun technique. So that's all we have on the agenda. Does anybody else have anything that they wanted to talk about or any questions? You can just unmute or put it in the chat if you don't want to unmute. Nope. Okay. All right. So watch your email because Deborah will be putting a schedule together of virtual show and tells, not virtual show and tells, virtual so days. If you'd like to host, make sure you get in touch with her. Again, it's totally easy. You can use the Guild's account. You don't have to have any special technical knowledge to do that. Super easy. And also we will be having another virtual show and tell toward the end of the month. So watch your email for that. As always, if you've got questions, email me if you want to help with the retreat. I've got baby quilt information, to talk to Sue if you need labels. And Otherwise, I think I'm just going to say have a wonderful month. I hope to see you guys virtually on some other venues, some other events, and please stay safe and well. It's wonderful to see all of you, and take care. Bye, everybody.